Welcome to The Real Tea. I'm your host, Tammy Murphy, broker owner of RH2L, bringing Miami Valley real homes to love.
And I'm Ellie Sollenberger to give my perspective as a home buyer.
We're going to give you the key to Miami Valley real estate.
All right, so real estate has changed over time, and there are things that were in and now they're out or non-existent. So I think that's what we're talking about today.
And just odd facts, like if there's ever a trivia question about real estate, wouldn't that be fun? I could invent that game.
Yeah.
But this first one I actually used recently with an inspector at a property. So we were going through this older home, and it's got all this glorious original woodwork, like 6-inch baseboards, wood detailing, cut out the whole stone mantle, fireplaces, and all this stuff. And you could see through the dirt and grime over the years where there's brass hardware on all of the doors and everything. And I said, do you know why they used brass back in the day when they were putting all of this together?
Oh.
Brass doorknobs actually disinfect themselves.
Really?
Naturally disinfect themselves.
Wow.
So that's why it was used in real estate, was because they realized, guess what? People were smart back then. I mean, let's give them some credit.
Yeah.
They realized everybody's hand is touching the doorknob, so it's going to get grimy and, bacteria. Mm-hmm. But it says here, bacteria naturally die after coming into contact with brass. It's the ions within the brass that have a killer effect on mold, spores, viruses, and many living things that make us sick.
Oh, wow.
And that inspector was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. I've never heard anything. Is it okay if I use that? I'm like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yourself out. Glad to help.
That's interesting.
So the other interesting thing that I think happens a lot in real estate is that you will learn about superstitions and maybe powers that you maybe don't realize. There are people who we've talked about, like spirits and ghosts and things like that.
Right up my alley.
So there are people who have an intuition or a feeling and understanding of some of these superpower things, superhuman natural things that go on. But numbers is really one of the things that are a driving force behind a lot of things in real estate.
So like people will buy an address that's their lucky number?
Yep. Or they'll make an offer on a property that is using the lucky number. So I've had investors who use that as their standby trick. Instead of offering $45,000 on the property, they would offer $45,361. And it's like that magic number, their number that's special to them, it's not anything else, but special to them, is 361. And I've had where I've asked buyers, because they know they're in multiple offers. And so they'll say, well, what can we do to set it apart? Well, what's your lucky number? And they look at me and they're like, what are you talking about? Well, you're going to offer $250,000 even, or you want to make it a lucky number? Okay. And then they'll come back. Okay, 250, 783. There you go. And it doesn't always work, but it works more times than it doesn't.
So as a seller, if I saw that, I would be like, what is this? If my agent hadn't told me about that.
And that's the effect of it, is that people look at it and they're like, why is it such an odd number? And it's like either they've scraped together all the pennies so that this is the number that they can come up with, or they know exactly what they're willing to spend. And so it gives more credibility to it, which is really weird.
Yeah.
So this is talking about the number in, Walmart pricing, store pricing, using 99 cents.
Yeah.
Gasoline, 99 cents, right?
Yeah, so it's a mental thing that it's
a mental
cheaper.
Thing. So there it is.
My dad does that too, and I'm like, just stop. Because so he does like a 50% deposit. So all these people's deposit is like whatever the amount is and 50 cents. And I'm like, because everything ends in a 5. So his is always like, instead of $1,000, it's like $995.
Yeah. So it's just that. This is talking about numbers 4 and 7 communicate professionalism. That's a psychology thing, it says. So it describes the pricing techniques used to subconsciously motivate people to make a purchase. So research actually shows that numbers such as 4 and 7 convince buyers that you have thought deeply about the price and you are less likely to make any exceptions or changes.
Wow.
So 254,900 versus 255,000. There's a whole thing there.
Yeah.
Numbers is another thing when we talk about, and I was at a Dragons game lately, and I was really surprised that the stairs, as I was going up and down the stairs, there were 13 stairs. And I'm like, when did that happen?
Yeah.
Most of the time, they go 11 or 15. 15 seems like a lot of stairs. So they actually use 13 stairs in their stairwell. And in the sports world, superstition is even higher than what it is in real estate.
Isn't that like in a high-rise building, there's no floor 13?
Yeah. So, and actually that's one of my sheets here, and it talks about in the U.S., obviously 13 is a number that most builders will stay away from. Mm-hmm. They will avoid a 13th floor. It just won't even be on the elevator push button or anything like that. And then in other cultures, Chinese builders skip the 4th floor because that's a superstition for them. It's unlucky for them. It's bad luck.
Wow.
So 4th floor in Chinese, and it's the 13th floor in American. So
wow,
thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
You've heard of mail order brides?
Yeah.
Did you know mail order houses was a thing?
Yes, because in this area, there are Sears homes.
Yes.
And you could go into a catalog and pick out your home, and it like showed up on a truck, and then they would put it together.
That's
is
right.
what I understand. Okay.
That is exactly right.
Yeah.
She knows her history.
And actually in like the Kettering area, there are a lot of them still standing.
Which isn't that crazy to think that that's possible.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so you were talking about the Navy kitchen that you had in your house. Another thing we talked about, I think I remember a front door getting painted.
Yes, in addition to the entire house.
So
it will forever be a sore subject with me.
Until you get the pool.
Yeah, true. But I did buy a hot tub recently, so we compromised so far.
Hot tub instead of a pool.
Yeah, but that's okay.
It's a hot tub in the summer, people.
I bought it on the hottest day of the year we've had, and it is the 14th hottest day in record history in Ohio, just so you know. I bought a hot tub on the hottest day.
I want to know is if you're going to fill it with ice cubes and use it as a ice
cold
bath.
Plunge.
Yes.
I love cold plunges. I've actually been looking at them too, to right next to the hot tub, just because it has so much like health benefits.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done it before, and it really does like clear your mental capacity. And
really?
Yeah. My cousin had made one just with like a thing that horses drink out of from Tractor Supply. So, but I was looking, the problem with those is you have to buy ice for it all the time.
Right.
And continue to buy ice, and that can get expensive when you're putting $20 of ice a day in it. So I've been looking at them on the lower end of them price-wise to get ones that actually keeps ice.
Interesting.
I'm surprised like Yeti hasn't
come out with that
into this market. Yeah.
Well, hey, maybe there's your $1 million idea.
Right.
You never know. All right, so back to the colors.
Yes.
So red Scottish doors, if you have ever been to Scotland, you'll notice that a number of their houses have a red front door. In their custom, it was common that when the mortgage was paid off, they got to paint their door red.
Wow.
So a red door was a paid off mortgage. Thought that was interesting.
So if you were trying to like scam the bank, did you just paint your door red in the middle of the night?
I don't know if the bank would say, well, they must have paid it off. Let's clear that. I don't know that it works that way. But red is one of the door colors that's used a lot in real estate because it grabs attention when people are driving by. I think you painted yours was a teal, right?
Yep.
We went teal with that. So
Yeah.
a lot of doors, black and charcoal are a color that make a home look more expensive. I don't know that an appraiser is going to give you more value for it, but it's the public perception if they think that. So.
Yeah, so on that house, actually, the door was originally painted with a wood stain, even though it was a metal door. So after about a year in the sun, it started flaking off.
Oh, wow.
So it had to have been painted. Yeah.
Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Fun facts. We talked about this. The average person moves 12 times in their life. So I added up for me, and I'm at 17 moves as an adult. So since I turned adult, 18,
Yeah.
I've moved 17 times. A few of those like major moves out of state, most of those with kids in tow. So when we talk about packing up a house and what all it takes, I got that. I know how to do it. I can knock it out like you can.
Yes. 8. I'm counting. 9, 10. I'm at 10,
Yeah.
I think,
Yeah.
right now. But a lot of those were just apartment to apartment
Yeah.
when I was like a young 20s.
I think we're seeing people stay in houses longer now. Like it used to be the average time that somebody would live in a house was 3 to 7 years. Like 7 years was a long time for people to live there. And with COVID, we've already surpassed that. And it's now a new average is between 10 and 14 years.
Well, I think now people feel like they're stuck because of the interest rates. So that's going to have a factor into it.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a lot different when you're renting and going from apartment to apartment or house to house versus actually owning, because you do have the closing costs and everything that's associated with it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about renting. Over 17 million Americans spend half of their earnings on rent. I think that number is going to go up. I think it will be higher than that. 17 million seems like a low number, honestly.
Well, the problem is that the rent prices have increased substantially, but the
Earnings,
have not.
correct. That's right. We talk about, and you know, staged homes sell faster.
Yes.
So when it's decluttered and neatly organized and presented well, it will sell faster. What else? The most expensive residence in the world.
Is it the home in North Carolina? The Biltmore?
No, it's actually Buckingham Palace.
Oh, wow.
It's not for sale, by the way, but it's,
If you see that on Craigslist
you know, it's
or
fake.
Facebook Marketplace, it is not for sale.
Yeah, they say it's roughly worth $1.55 billion.
Wow.
So
I mean, it's so iconic. Have you ever seen it in person?
no, it's one place I haven't been.
Yeah. I recently went to a Princess Diana exhibit,
Oh, did you?
and so got to see a lot of this stuff from the
Cool.
royals. Yeah, and I'm totally like a royal buff, so I would like to see it eventually.
Nice. Yeah. Hey, that'd be a fun trip.
Yeah.
Can we write that off? Let's see. Let's get some customer client feedback here. Some YouTube giving us some
Tax
answers, and
experts.
let's figure it out if we can do that. Let's see. Real estate. A third of people who sell their home initially try to do it on their own without a realtor.
So from personal experience, I've never tried to sell a home by myself, but everybody that I know that has tried was unsuccessful. And then as soon as they got a realtor involved, usually they got more than what they had originally listed the house for. And so that gap paid for the realtor's commission.
I love working with you because you always say the right thing.
I just,
And she's
sell
not
it.
scripted
Yeah, right.
or paid, so that's a bonus.
And their house usually goes under contract within like 48 hours.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Even in the height of the COVID craziness where there was nothing listed for more than 6 hours, I saw people that were struggling to sell their home by owner.
Yeah, and it's statistical data that we obviously keep that shows over the years, for a lot of years, realtors bring value to the table. They make the deals happen, and obviously the biggest thing is that we're not personally vested in it, so we're not emotional. We're bringing in a professional avenue of it. But we don't get paid until the deal is done. So we're going to hang in there and make it happen if we have any power or control over it. So
Yeah.
interesting stuff. What state do you think has the most realtors? You can probably guess that one.
California.
Yeah. They have the most.
That's because everybody's a part-time actress or actor and a part-time realtor.
They have
And then
the
a part-time
most.
waitress.
Yes, they have the most. Like Ohio, we have 36,000 realtors currently in the state of Ohio. I mean, it doesn't actually give me a number on here on what their price is, but in the height of the business that we're in, Realtor across the country was at 1.2 million. So California, I mean, California's a pretty big state too. So I
Yeah.
gotta figure that it's probably well over 100,000 as the number of agents that are there.
Yeah, so I
a
love
lot.
the real estate shows on Netflix. I will just go ahead and state that.
Yeah.
And I have been looking on Zillow, and I will look and see who the brokerage is to see if it's the Oppenheim Group or if it's the agency. And I've seen a couple that are the agency, but I haven't seen any that's the Oppenheim Group. So it makes me wonder, like, how much of that is staged versus how much of that is actually real.
And that's a little bit of the disconnect from it, because it does give a false narrative, one, to the process and how it works, but to the reality of, because if our real estate market in Ohio was anything like those shows, there would be a lot of problems. I mean, we had some not so comfortable positions with other agents who
Diva realtors.
diva realtors. Or the old school mentality that, they just don't want to.
The one who turned in like a half written contract.
Yep, I love you. And it's like you wouldn't even be able to exist in that kind of a world. Like,
Yeah.
that is a totally different stage, I feel.
Yeah. But real estate's a lot different. I have a friend here who lived in Ohio, but was actually like a real estate assistant for her cousin out in California. And she would, talk about how she would get like proof of funds and stuff. And these people had just millions in their bank account. And just the differences in California real estate and the real estate market and the realtors there. And where the realtors out there, their brand is themselves.
Yep.
So it is hair professional done all of the time, nails done,
Designer clothes.
everything. Yeah. And where here I feel like the best realtors are the ones that are just down to earth and will tell you how it is and won't hurt your feelings.
Yeah, it's really a different world. I mean, I would have to say that it's not cut out for everybody. When it's that cutthroat, it gets a little uncomfortable to be around. I mean, real estate is stressful otherwise anyway.
Yeah.
But you start adding in the diva personalities of it, and it'd be like, forget it.
Right.
Not dealing with that too. But interesting stuff, because one of the things here is the reality show Extreme Home Makeover.
Yes, and there was one in Beaver Creek. Do you remember that?
Yeah. So the results are not always what they seem. And I think I saw somewhere that there's a lawsuit coming against one of them because people feel like, they were sold this bill of goods and the house was all of this. What was only the rooms that were pictured on the episode, and the rest of the house was really defunct.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
So the reality is not always what you see on TV.
Yeah. My favorite one was Trading Spaces.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, where like your neighbors and you would trade houses and then you would redo one of the rooms. And I just thought and that was more interior design, but I just thought that it was so creative.
Yes.
And how it was done, and it looks like it's done within 2 days or whatever.
I think what I like the most about those are what appear to be the really cool software programs that they have, where they can say, oh yeah, we just do this, and on their tablet they're coming up and it's got the dimensions, and we'll just pop this wall out of here and a new wall comes in, and it's like, oh, that's so cool. I have looked for that software. Nowhere. I mean,
yeah, so we get that a lot over at my dad's business. Can you create a sketch of how this rail is going to look? No, sir. That is a 20 or 24 foot bar of metal right now, and we're gonna cut it and we're gonna make it fit your space. And this is not. My dad says it all the time. Bring it out and see if I like it.
Yeah.
You're not buying it from Best Buy or Home Depot. You can buy that, and it's junk, and you're gonna be buying it again in a couple years. But a lot of people don't understand that part.
Yeah.
when it comes to custom stuff.
I think that's kind of like the old CSI movies where, they have all the screens coming down and they instantly have DNA results, and it doesn't work like that. It would be cool if it did, maybe, but
but that movie or TV show would be several months long.
Yes, for sure.
Waiting, and it'd be kind of boring.
So one of the things that I get asked about a lot is about meeting men through real estate. I'm like, no, not really. You mean other realtors, like realtors that are men, and it's like, no, it's not really a thing. So, and I went back through my head and thinking about, I've had some, we'll call single male clients, less than 5 maybe over all the years. To be honest, that's legitimate. Single guys, typically, at least Midwest Ohio, aren't necessarily looking for a home.
Yeah. They'll
rent or they'll do whatever, right? Now, if a single parent, single male dad, they will potentially, I've had multiple clients that are looking there. But, this idea of, oh, well, you're a blonde and you can wear your heels and dress up in a dress and you can probably sell anything. I'm a professional and I work, and this isn't like a dating site where I have all these guys just fawning all over me and everything.
You wish.
I mean, it would be nice if I got to meet some good guy somewhere, right? But real estate is not where that happens. And so this one is talking about there are more single female homeowners in the United States than single male homeowners anywhere.
Well, girls run the world, and we make stuff happen. So that just totally makes sense.
And I think women are typically the driving force behind wanting to create the home environment. So yes, you will sometimes have a showing where there's a male who is going to be doing, but he's there because the female has directed him, go see this house.
Yeah.
Or the female comes later, or, anything like that. So it's not like a pickup game. Sorry, if you're just getting into real estate and you think you're going to meet your match by being a realtor, and it ain't going to happen probably. So you're just going to be dealing with and realize that I'm mostly talking to the female in the relationship. Because if I ignored you and only dealt with Mike, how many times would you call me?
Yeah.
You would be, I'm not dealing with that woman.
Correct.
So the reality is that the guys, you're not in control.
We ask your opinion.
We might.
Doesn't mean it is valued.
It just means
for the final decision.
We'd like to have you say something that you're happy about this, or that this will work, and then let us do our thing.
Yeah, like back to my hot tub. Friday, he did not want to buy a hot tub. We bought a hot tub yesterday.
So Friday to Tuesday.
Yeah. It went from, well, I'm totally against it, I don't want to. And I was like, we're going to look at them. And then, well, I'm not opposed, but I'm not for it either. And then it was, okay, yeah, I'm excited. We bought the hot tub.
Just give her a little bit of time and she'll whittle it away, right?
Yeah. So maybe single male potential buyers is an untapped market. And you could do like speed dating open houses.
I did a YouTube video, and I actually used the thumbnail of speed dating. It's a whole thing, because the idea behind speed dating, my opinion, because I haven't done it, is that you have a quick time to make a yes or no decision.
Yeah, so it's like the I don't know what the word is, behind like Bumble or Tinder, where you just see something and then yes or no.
Oh, like the swipe right or swipe left, right? So I have no problem in showing houses as if we were speed dating. Like, when you walk up, does this have some potential or not? No, I absolutely don't want it.
Like that turd house we looked at.
Tell me that. And we won't waste our time.
And I knew that, let's go ahead and see on the inside, because maybe it's a diamond in the rough, but probably not. We were in it maybe 5 minutes and out.
And it doesn't hurt my feelings. Like, I'm okay with that. I would
Yeah.
rather at least we go there to see, is there a potential or not, and then move on. I've had those times where from the get-go, they hit the porch, no, this isn't going to work. And we spent 25 minutes in the house. I'm like, why are we still talking about this? Like, we could go on to the next one.
Yeah.
It's okay to be early.
Yeah, it just wastes everybody's time.
So speed dating to that respect in real estate, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Let's make a decision. Right, left, on, off.
That would be a new app that we could develop where it's like a Zillow, but you literally swipe like not interested or interested. And then those that are interested are sent.
To the party that, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the ideas.
If you're an app developer, let us know.
We can help you work it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll test it for you. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you. Thanks for joining us today on the Realty Podcast. If you enjoyed the knowledge and entertainment today, please subscribe and share with your friends. We will be embarking on a journey that bridges the gap between realtors and clients, uncovering the heart and tea of real estate.